Hey there, my name is Jeff.
And my name is Gina, and we are here to tell you how God brought the two of us together.
So we first met when we were playing on the same baseball team in Little League.
Yep, I wanted to play hardball with the boys. We were both living in Ventura, California at the time, and we were both in the 5th grade, but we went to different schools at the time.
Then we ended up at the same youth group at Big Church in the Hills in Ventura.
But nothing really came of that. We just became friends, and we even went to rival high schools.
So we briefly dated in our 20s.
Yep, I was hanging out at a bowling alley one day with some friends, and I come walking around a corner and I smacked right into this person. And I was so embarrassed, and I looked up and it was like, oh my gosh, that's Jeff. And so we started dating after that for a little bit, but unfortunately it didn't last very long because Jeff had a serious drinking problem.
Alcohol had taken over my life. What started as something I did with friends and at parties quickly became a daily part of my life. It was a path of destruction that I was going down that seemed to have no end. 30 beers in one day was not a problem for me. It was my life basically consisted of working, surfing, drinking, and smoking pot. That was where I sat for a long time. I was drinking at work, drinking while I was driving home from work, drinking every night, neglecting my family and friends just because of my addiction. I had stopped going to church and basically just put God up on a shelf. I had gone on a deep sea fishing trip and was drinking all day on the boat. Afterwards, I had attempted to drive home but didn't make it far. I had gotten into a really bad accident and I'm lucky to be alive. I got a DUI and I'm very fortunate that I didn't kill myself or hurt anyone else. This was definitely a wake-up call for me. I knew that if something didn't change, I was going to end up killing myself or someone else. And so October 1st, 2017 was my last drink. But I was still not making the best decisions. I was still smoking pot and not going to church. Skip to 2019 in December, I just had enough. The Holy Spirit spoke to me. I literally fell to my knees and rededicated my life to Jesus Christ. It had no longer been an acknowledgement, but a renewal of our relationship that we had together. So I started going to church again, cleaned up my life, and I said, I remember Gina saying that if I got my life straight, that she would marry me. So I actually Googled her, got her email, and sent her an email.
Meanwhile, I had moved back to Colorado. I had been here since 2006. The whole time I'd thought about Jeff and wondered how he was doing and where he was, if he was okay. He'd always had a very special place in my heart. January 2020, I get an email one day from Jeff, and at first I thought, this isn't funny. Is this a scam? Is this a joke? But it was really from him. And I was so excited to hear from him, and so I wrote him back. And that night we called and talked to each other on the phone, and then we talked to each other every night after that. He apologized to me for having made alcohol a priority over his life. And then he said, so what are you doing for the rest of your life? And next thing I know, 8 months later, we got married and he moved to Colorado. We're so thankful when we look back and we think about God's plan for our life and every little intricate piece and part that he had in it and how he brought us together. And it's just so important that you not give up on people in your life and continue praying for them.
When you give your life to Christ, you'll find greater purpose and forever help in him. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not a fairy tale, but when you trust in him and give everything to him, you'll find great purpose in your life.
So God has big plans for your life too. You just need to trust in his plan and trust in his timeline. I mean, look at us. It took us 40 years.